When I got the first scalar balancing mat, I tried some different types of foods on the mat, and I tested them for vitality before and afterwards with the SE-5. And what I found is that with older foods that were only reading in the low 80s, I could get them up to about 96% in about 3 to 5 minutes. And then to get them up to 100% when they were really kind of older foods, it took probably 20 to 25 minutes to get them all the way up to 100. If it was normal foods where I just put them on there for 2 to 3 minutes, and let's say before they read, just below 90 or so, they would go right up to 100 within 2 to 3 minutes. Now here's something else that you can do with the scalar balancing mat. You could charge like some sacred objects. This dorje, for example, you can put it on here and actually imprint the scalar energy into the dorje. Or if you have like a little statue or something and you want to add a little bit of extra energy to it, you could put that energy into your sacred objects. That's yet another way to use the scalar balancing mat. So another way to use the scalar charging mat is to put it into the bathtub. And here's something that we discovered today when we were taking a bath with it in the water, is we were trying to feel if there was any energy coming from the mat. And this is what we discovered. When you put your hand in the water and you feel like how much pressure it takes to push down into the water and then go across the mat to see if there's any energy, it actually pushes the energy up, and you can feel it pushing the hand up. It's amazing. I'm going to do this again on the other side. So here it's just sort of like a neutral feeling, and then when I go across to the mat, especially when I get toward the center, it just like pushes it up. And I mean, I could push it down, I can push down, but it takes more energy to push it down, and then you really feel that energy coming off of it. It's really cool. And the water feels like softer as well, kind of a more silky feeling. Now another way to use the scalar balancing mat is to put it underneath of your mattress pad when you sleep. So we'll pull back the covers and then pull back the sheet, and there should be a mattress pad, normally there is, underneath of the sheet. And then you can place the scalar balancing mat, I'm going to put it about at my heart chakra area, and then cover it back up. So that when I go to sleep tonight, it'll be about right there under my heart chakra. And yet another way to use the scalar balancing mat is to place it on my work chair where I sit and work at the computer. And that way I put a small pillow on top of it, and I actually sit right on top of the scalar balancing mat. It makes my workflow go a lot easier, and I feel more energized, and I don't get as tired when I'm working at the computer. It's amazing. Now for those of you with an SE-5, of course you can program your scalar mat with specific tunings. I suggest using the pulse mode with the output cable and then running your program into the scalar mat. Now the scalar mat has crystals in it as well as magnetic powder in it, and those are mixed in with the silicone, so they're under pressure and creates somewhat of a piezoelectric effect, which is driving the antenna. And so you can program this with whatever you want. There are only two tunings inside the mat to begin with, and one is to open the scalar field, and the second one is just vitality. So it adds vitality to basically whatever you want, but you can program it to use more tunings and add more tunings while you're making a program. Now in this particular case, I have my picture So I'm programming it for myself. Now, if you don't want to use a photo, you can just put the tunings in. If you just want to run the subtle balance program, for example, from the standalone mode, you could do that. Or the agricultural program, and then put it out in the garden and let it radiate those tunings out into the garden. So there are just a lot of different ways you can use the mat, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, this is really great technology.